The Yorkshire Coastcast with Paddy. Loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places.
Hello and welcome to episode 49.
This is the Coast.
Coming up, I speak to Scarborough Whitby's MP Alison Hume about all sorts of different local issues, the drilling rig in Burniston, her smart meter campaign, and the tourism levy as well. And more. Also talking half-term, which is here on the Yorkshire coast, and a week of great events, including the skipping tradition in Scarborough, pancakes from the Sea Cadets, and of course the Pancake Day racing on Aberdeen Walk as well. We're also talking about vandalism at Whitby Railway Station, which means the lovely Esk Valley Railway information car is going to be moved to Middlesbrough, and why we're going hopping mad in March along the Yorkshire coast. All that to come and more on episode 49 of the Yorkshire Coastcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and always at thisisthecoast.co.uk/podcasts. Alison Hume, MP for Whitby and Scarborough, thank you for your time. You've been laid up recently, haven't you, after the hip operation? How are you feeling at the moment?
Yeah, thanks, Paddy. I'm feeling okay, actually. I had fantastic care on the NHS, and all I can say is the old hip pain has gone, replaced by a new sort of surgical hip pain and stiffness, and anyone that's had a hip replacement will know exactly what I mean by that, but I feel very fortunate. And actually, I've just opened a lovely little letter from the Prime Minister today extending his best wishes as I recover from my hip replacement, and I noticed it's dated the 4th of February, which I think is the date when, you know, the sky started to fall in on Chicken Licken. So it's really lovely to know that my boss has taken time out to write me a little get well note.
That is good to hear. And I was going to bring this up, obviously. It has been quite a turbulent time. I mean, maybe you'll get blamed for taking a bit of time away from Westminster. It all seems to have happened whilst you've been off. But obviously, a lot has happened. We've had the Labour leader in Scotland saying that Keir Starmer has to go, followed very closely by Keir's entire cabinet backing him. Where do you, as the MP for Scarborough and Whitby, sit with the future of the Prime Minister? Yeah,
so obviously, yes, a lot is happening. And I can't say that I'm sad to be away from the Westminster bubble at the moment, and with my feet firmly on the ground in Scarborough, where I live, representing the good people of Scarborough, Whitby and the villages. But Paddy, just to take a step back, let's sort of think about where all this started. And this started with the unfortunate appointment of Peter Mandelson, and he has turned out to be a very self-serving, deceptive and dishonourable human being and former member of the Labour Party, somebody who was instrumental in New Labour getting into power back in the 90s and is now instrumental in this horrible situation. And behind him is his relationship with the despicable late paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. And at the base of all of it are the victims, the women and girls that were exploited by this terrible man. And he was funded by lots of money coming from goodness knows where. And it looks like on the advice sometimes of Peter Mandelson. And I just want to sort of say that we mustn't forget the women and girls in America who were trafficked, the modern slaves that came from everywhere. And we've got modern slavery, of course, in the same way, girls being exploited in this country. But to go back to the victims, my thoughts with them. So moving forward to that, obviously, Keir Starmer, as a former DPP, is very well placed to turn over the stones and the rocks where people like Peter Mandelson hide, and reform the way we do things to ensure that the powerful can't use their position to feather their own nests. You know, the Labour Party is there for the powerless, not the powerful. So I'm putting my faith in Keir Starmer to get on with making the reforms that we need to make sure that this can't happen again. We all feel really let down by Peter Mandelson. And yes, it was the wrong decision to appoint him. Keir Starmer said that. Morgan McSweeney, his number two's gone. And now Keir Starmer is actually facing the fire on his own. And I wasn't at the meeting where he spoke to MPs. I understand he was very passionate and he's not going anywhere. And I think it's the right thing. We've got a 5-year mandate from the British people, and we shouldn't waste a second on that, on infighting. Nobody wants to see a leadership election in the Labour Party. It's the last thing we need. We said we wouldn't do that. People were sick of the Tories changing their leaders as often as their socks, So, no, I'm backing Keir. I want us to get on with delivering stuff and actually talk about the stuff we are delivering, because I think that's got lost in all the noise.
An example of that is Keir Starmer in Hastings trying to talk about Pride in Place, but getting hounded about Peter Mandelson with the questions from the media. And I suppose that is going to be the challenge going forward, isn't it? To talk about what the Labour government says it has achieved.
Absolutely, and I'm really proud of what we've achieved. You mentioned Pride in Place, and of course Scarborough's going to receive £20 million of Pride in Place money for locals to decide what to spend it on. And as the MP, I'm part of the board, and we're already looking at projects. And this isn't a top-down initiative, it's a bottom-up initiative. And we all know that maybe money has been spent on things that people don't agree with. Well, there's no excuse this time. So there's a consultation running, and people can jump online and give their opinions. And it's not only the Pride in Place. We've got a fantastic competition coming up, Town of Culture. I know that Scarborough and Whitby are both working on bids. The winning town will win £3.5 million. I'm really excited by that. This is a government who really cares about Pride in Place and culture. And as a creative, I know that cultural things really absolutely make us feel better about life. I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I know we're locked in a low weather system, but it's sort of feels like it's physical and metaphorical. It's so grey and gloomy out there. We need wonderful kind of things to look forward to. We need to be able to walk through our town centres and feel proud and go to events that make us feel good. And outside of the cultural stuff that we're delivering, we're also starting to deliver on the nuts and bolts stuff that people voted for, the change they voted for, the getting down the waiting list for NHS appointments. We've just delivered a cancer plan with a specific kind of focus on coastal communities, which will target staff shortages, expand specialist training, and accelerate the use of cutting-edge technology. And that's been welcomed by Yorkshire Cancer. And something I'm really pleased about, it's been a long campaign, but we're going to cover the travel costs for parents who've got children diagnosed with cancer. It's terrible if you've got a child who is suffering from cancer and then, you're worrying about the actual costs of getting somewhere. And in a rural area like ours, that's particularly relevant. So I'm really pleased that those costs have been covered. And education is another big area. We're waiting for the Send and White Paper to come out. But in the meantime, we've been doing things like rolling out the free breakfast clubs. So we've got 7 now in the constituency, the latest, Friarage and Barracliff, to come on board. So lots of good news, Paddy, but it does get lost in the mix.
And here on the Yorkshire coast, of course, you may well be laid up, but you're still busy, and you've just celebrated your big smart meter campaign win, haven't you?
Oh, yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, we all like to feel connected, don't we? But there's nothing more frustrating when we've got a smart meter that's in fact a dumb meter. And one of the things that came to light when I was actually running to be an MP and sort of doing meetings in the villages was that the North was really badly served by a deal done years ago where we were given long-range radio signal for our smart meters, whereas the South got cellular. And I think it was to do with the fact that they worried about the geography and we didn't have enough masts. But then we actually got the opportunity through more masts and development to use cellular hubs. But then the suppliers couldn't actually put them in because the contract was wrong. So I did a big campaign on this. I pulled together a Westminster summit in Parliament, got everybody involved, the data communications company, the suppliers, and I brought down some wonderful constituents who explained what the problem was, lobbied ministers and pushed the government, and they've changed the contract so that suppliers can put in cellular hubs. But more importantly, and it's a great sort of initiative from the government, have rolled out 4G. So that means that it's souped up version. And it's so lovely to receive the emails and the phone calls and the letters from constituents now in the Esk Valley who've got smart meters after years of being given 3, 4, 5 meters that don't work. So I feel good about that. And I was really helped by a wonderful campaign group and constituents. So it's sort of a really good example, I suppose, of a public servant like myself working hand in glove with local residents.
Also, the drilling rig at Burniston continues to make headlines as well. And you did get the intervention from the government, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, it was a bit last minute actually. And I think I was writing the follow-up letter to Steve Reed, who's the Secretary of State for Housing and Communities, on the morning before I went in for my surgery. But yes, it's really good. I was really pleased that they wrote to North Yorkshire Council and said, look, let's put this on hold. Let's put the planning decision on hold while we look into it. I think people in Burniston are breathing a sigh of relief. It's not over, but I'm absolutely convinced, as I've always said, that there's going to be no fracking in Burniston. I can't see how that will sit with a government ambition to move to clean energy and have no more onshore drilling. So I think, fingers crossed, we're moving in the right direction, but I know that it is really stressful for those in the village. And it's actually a national issue as well. Thousands of people signed the petition against it. So I know that everybody who cares about our planet and our environment is against fracking. And
you continue to have your MP surgeries as well, don't you, despite the fact that you can't do them in person? So people have the opportunity to sort of get in front of you, don't they, even if it's not in the normal way that they would? Yeah, one of the things that I really pride myself on, Paddy, is being available to my constituents. Obviously, I'm supported by a small team in Scarborough and an even smaller team in Westminster. And one of the things I most enjoy about the job, if enjoy is the right word, is hearing about issues and problems and then trying to sort them out. So, yeah, I'm not particularly mobile at the moment. So the team and I decided we'd do them virtually and by phone. So people can get in touch with the office. I've got a website, www.alisonhume.com, and you can get in touch with me that way or email me or phone the office. Thank you for now. We will carry on our discussion shortly. Alison Hume, Scarborough Whitby MP, joining us on episode 49 of the Yorkshire Coastcast.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. Loving life in Yorkshire.
We are looking forward to a flipping fantastic day on Tuesday the 17th of February. It's Shrove Tuesday, and there's so much going on in Scarborough. And it all gets underway with the ringing of the pancake bell at midday on Tuesday in Scarborough Town Centre. And then it's the Pancake Day racing, which we're hosting, and we'll hear more about this event soon. And then everyone heads to the seafront for some skipping when Foreshore Road is closed off, and it's always extra busy when it's half term, so that is great. And then, of course, there's pancakes being sold by Scarborough Sea Cadets as well, and they use it as a great fundraiser for what they're working on at the moment, and they're doing all sorts of great stuff in the community. So more on all that coming up very, very shortly. Firstly, though, this made me sad. Vandalism at Whitby Railway Station. Let's speak to Lisa Williams from Esk Valley Railway. Tell us what's happened with this cart, Lisa.
We have a cart, which is an information point. These days, since COVID happened, none of the train operating companies produce timetables. We do, and we produce line guides and information about the line, which we display on the cart. And sadly, it's been seriously vandalised this time. It happens quite regularly where they pull out the timetables or stuff things down into the timetable holder or break the timetable holders themselves. Now this weekend they've gone all out and they've broken it, they've broken the wheel, they've slung all of the leaflets and information leaflets, the timetables, everything all over the platforms. It's a horrendous mess, absolutely dreadful. We can't keep going on like this. ridiculous.
It's a real shame. We spent lots of time at Whitby Railway Station, either sitting there waiting for a train or maybe having a sandwich and crisps that we just got from the co-op or whatever, just having a few minutes. And I've gone past that display so many times. And it is lovely because it tells you everything about the line. It gives you all the points of interest along the line as well. It really does encourage you to go out and explore. So it's a real shame that it has been vandalised. But like I've said to you off air, we have seen, quite a lot of people, either sitting in it or just sort of congregating around there. There can be quite a bit of antisocial behaviour at Whitby Railway Station, can't there?
There can, I'm afraid, and because the station isn't locked in the evening. Many years ago, it used to be locked up at night. It's not anymore. We're working really hard trying to persuade Northern to allow us to lock the station again at night. But again, we need to find reliable people in Whitby, and if there's anybody out there, please make contact that would be happy to open up the railway station each morning. But that's a job that has to be carried out about 6:30, 7:15 in the morning. We think if we could lock it, it would cut down the antisocial behaviour. I'm certain it's not school children. I think it's youngsters getting together in the evening. It's dry there, it's sheltered, it's somewhere for them to just hang out. But it is sad. But you say about people sitting on it, I've seen, older people just sat on it, treating it as a bench, and there's plenty of seats on the platform, and people get really abusive if you even really politely ask them to move, not to sit on it. People get very aggressive and abusive these days. But we're trying to get the British Transport Police more involved, but we don't seem to get much help from them either. So sadly, I think we're going to have to admit defeat for the time being, and we're going to relocate it.
It is a real shame. And you assume these days that there's CCTV in the railway station, but that sounds like it's not a thing.
There is CCTV, but it is an unmanned station. So being unmanned, we would have to give the people that run the CCTV a slot of when these things happened, and we've no idea. It could have been Saturday, it could have been Sunday. It's just a guess. And unless we can tie it down to, I think it's something like half an hour, they just won't go through the whole CCTV. So another thing we're working on, because in this day and age, we've got CCTV at home and it pings as soon as somebody comes through the gate. Now, you can't tell me that railway stations couldn't use a similar type of thing, if there's some sort of antisocial behaviour going on, that they could react to it, but they don't seem to be doing that at the moment. So we've just heard from the stations manager for Transpennine Express. He's agreed to allow us to relocate the cart to Middlesbrough, which is a really good outcome of a bad situation, because at Middlesbrough there's very little information about the Esk Valley line. So the fact that we can now have that cart as a presence, hopefully on the concourse there, would be really huge benefit to us. So it's not all bad news. No, that is good. But ideally you would have, something similar at Whitby as well, because like I say, I always think it's really nice to see the route and the different things that you can do there as well. It encourages you to enjoy the line. There's plenty of people that do use Whitby Railway Station, or just use it as a thoroughfare, and it's nice for them to see what is along that line. It is. The other problem we have, because it's a grade 2 listed building, we can't put up any more poster cases than there are already, and most of them are occupied by Northern. We do have the big display board opposite, which we did have 2 poster cases on, but again they were ripped off and vandalised and thrown onto the track. So until we can get it to a situation that we can make it a more secure station, I think we've just got to do the best we can. There is that superb map on the other side of the station, but like you say, it's not the thoroughfare side, with people going to and from. But we've just got to we work so hard to do nice things for the community and produce these wonderful timetables that do give you all the information about the line. We've just been nominated for a national award for our Forget-Me-Not dementia train. The award ceremony for that is next month, along with Yorkshire Coast Community Rail Partnership for their bench. For most people on the bench, they've been nominated as well for an award. Yeah, which is great. There's a lot of positive things going on. I think it would be nice to see the town getting behind their railway station.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so a bit of local pride, really.
Absolutely,
would be good.
What's missing.
All right. Well, at least the car, with some repairs, has a home. It's just a shame that it has to move out of the area because of vandalism and the fact that you're worried that it could just happen again. And who's to stop it, like you say? All right. Well, thanks for your time. If Whitby Station can become a bit more secure, a bit more safe, then hopefully something will return.
It would be great to have something return. I think if we can get somebody that's willing to lock this or unlock the station, that would be the first step, I think. So as soon as we can get somebody like that, I will let you know.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. The people, the places.
And the Yorkshire Coastcast is from the team at This Is The Coast, the local commercial radio station for the Yorkshire Coast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from.
The Yorkshire Coastcast.
Loving life in Yorkshire. This is the coast.
And this is episode 49 with me, Paddy. Let's continue our chat now with Scarborough and Whitby's MP, Alison Hume. I've just done an interview with Lisa Williams from the Esk Valley Railway, who is gutted that that lovely cart in Whitby Railway Station has been vandalised, and it's happened a number of times. And she says that actually TransPennine have come forward and said we'll have it at Middlesbrough Station, which is great. She says it's good that people in Middlesbrough will get to find out about the Esk Valley line, but that's one of the big issues still, isn't it? The antisocial behaviour up and down the Yorkshire coast, and it's a real shame that lovely cart with all that information about the Esk Valley line is going to be taken away from Whitby. But there does seem to be a problem with transport hubs and antisocial behaviour here on the Yorkshire coast. It is frustrating for locals.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I care a lot about Whitby, and I care a lot about my whole constituency, but Whitby's got a really soft spot in my heart because of my family links there. And it really, really upsets me, that whole train and bus station area. And I can say that I have been involved in ensuring that the bus station is sort of better looked after by the police, shall we say, because there was a lot of antisocial behaviour going there. But it's now the train station is the focus. I saw those pictures today, and it's really upsetting. And we need a stand in Whitby as well as in Middlesbrough. So I will definitely be supporting the Esk Valley Railway in their calls for a little bit more care and due diligence. I'll be contacting the council, Northern, and the police because it's not good enough.
There's plenty to look forward to. I mean, Scarborough celebrating its 400th anniversary this year, has been a seaside resort, so it'd be great to make a thing of that. And also, word is that maybe we'll get the Endeavour back in Whitby as well, 2028, to mark the 300th anniversary of Captain Cook. These are big opportunities for the area, aren't they? These sort of things.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so blessed to live in this fantastic area, and so much is to be celebrated. As you say, Scarborough 400 years of being the first English resort, and Captain Cook was completely linked to Whitby, and 300 years, fantastic. But actually, we can celebrate the past, but what we've got to do is celebrate the present. And we've got to look at all of the good things that we're doing, but also look at how we live now. And it's the cost of living crisis affects all of us. Good social housing, that's something that we need to improve. We know that people want to feel secure in their jobs, and Labour has brought forward the Employment Rights Bill, which is another bit of good news. But particularly in Whitby, we've seen a lot of housing go over to Airbnbs, and that's something I'm really working on in Westminster for the short-term lets. We need those really we need to know how many there are of them. We need a register, and then I think we need a licence. So I haven't forgotten about that, because that's very much on the minds of people on the coast. Is we need houses to live in. We need to be able to heat our houses. I know that what we're doing, the average energy bill is coming down by £150, and we need to be able to live our lives and then enjoy all of these wonderful things that's happening. So that's the difference the Labour government makes, is that we are there for ordinary working people, and as an MP for Scarborough and Whitby, I'm here for people who are vulnerable, who've been overlooked and forgotten, and that's why I stood to be an MP, and that continues to be the focus of my work.
Tell us about some of the progress with the environmental stuff locally.
The Labour government are doing a really good thing with Great British Energy and driving down energy bills. So Graham School in Scarborough is getting solar panels. That's part of the drive to improve infrastructure at key locations. Means that they save money on bills, and that money can be spent on other things that really matter. Scarborough Hospital's fitting over 1,000 solar panels. That's part of the Great British Energy Initiative. That's going to reduce bills. And they recently received nearly £9 million to replace the fossil fuel boiler with an air source heat pump. These are small things, but they're meaningful. And obviously with the Warm Home Plan that we've just launched, people can get grants to improve their own home heating.
Lots going on. There's lots that you want to be talking about to locals in Whitby and Scarborough under that shadow of what is happening with the Prime Minister. And it just seems like, these days, Prime Ministers don't seem to last very long. There's a controversy in the news. There's talk of replacing them. Is it a cultural shift?
I think we're seeing the rise of right-wing populism and across the world. And that is the hallmark of that is people standing on the sidelines shouting negative comments, but not really having any solutions. So it sounds good on paper, but when you drill down into it, it's hollow. And that's the problem with reform, I think. It's even worse in America. So, yes, I think that's what's happened. In the old days, it's just unthinkable to think that we can have, so many different prime ministers and leaders in such a short amount of time, which is why, to go back to the beginning of our conversation, I really feel from what my constituents are writing and saying to me is that we do want a bit of stability. We want to carry on with our leader, with our Prime Minister. Yes, he's admitted his mistake and he's got to do stuff to make sure it never happens again, but to deliver the change that country wants to see. But yes, I think globally it's a very unstable time politically.
And finally, I noticed that 277 tourism businesses responded to a North Yorkshire Council survey on a tourism levy. 71% were opposed to the idea, 18% in support, 11% neutral. So that's an interesting idea, isn't it? Because some people say, well, actually, we don't mind it if the money is spent, locally. If a lot of the money that is spent is actually on the Yorkshire coast, then the money made should be kept on the Yorkshire coast. What are your thoughts with that one?
Yeah, I think with the tourism levy, we're all so used to, if we go on holiday, we're lucky enough to go abroad particularly, we get hit with the tourism levies, and it's quite a useful way of investing in the infrastructure. What worries me about the coast is obviously we're not a city, it's towns and villages, very different to the situation in, say, York. I've already made it really clear that we've got to be very careful with this tourism levy. I'm not against it in principle, but the Mayor of York and North Yorkshire, if he applies it, has to really convince me that the money will be used to improve infrastructure in Scarborough, Whitby and the villages, because obviously we are the jewels in the tourism crown, and I want money that's raised here to be spent here. So, proceed with caution. In a way, I want it to happen because it will mean that the short-term lets will have to be registered, because otherwise how do they get kind of hit with the tourism levy? So there could be a lot that comes out in the wash. So not against it in principle, Paddy, but I'd really need to see the detail of it.
Yeah. Staying in Barcelona with the kids a couple of years back, there was the tourism levy there, but because there was a bit of a drought, there was no water in the bath. I couldn't have a bath, and I thought, well, I'm paying a levy here, and I can't even run a bath.
Well, that'll teach you. You should have stayed in Whitby, right? Exactly.
All right, thanks so much for your time, and speedy recovery. Hopefully you'll be back on your feet before too long.
Thanks, Paddy. Great to talk.
And that was Alison Hume, Scarborough Whitby MP, on episode 49 of the Yorkshire Coastcast.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places. This is the coast.
Right, coming up, we are going hopping mad in March for a very good cause. More on that very, very soon. But if you work at a primary school or nursery, listen up, we need your help. Firstly, it is Shrove Tuesday this coming Tuesday, and it's always a wonderful day all along the Yorkshire coast, but particularly in Scarborough, where there are a number of quirky traditions, including the skipping on the seafront. More on the history of that coming up soon. And also an event that we host with North Yorkshire Council, the Pancake Day Racing, which will get underway just after midday this coming Tuesday, the 17th of February. So at 12 o'clock, Councillor George Jabur from North Yorkshire Council is going to be ringing the pancake bell. Love the fact that it just sits there doing nothing for an entire year, and then for one moment a year it gets rung. So that happens on North Street, and then George Jabur will be hot-footing it to Aberdeen Walk, where we've got the This Is the Coast Roadshow stage, and then we'll get the town cry to officially launch the event, and then teams of two representing, in the main, workplaces. Might be some charities, might be some sports club represented. It's teams of two, taking on an assault course laid out by the team at Everyone Active. Lots and lots of people, hundreds of people watching behind the safety barriers. And then ultimately one team winning some Everyone Active membership vouchers and also the Golden Frying Pan. So that all lasts around about an hour, and it starts at midday on Aberdeen Walk in Scarborough. And then, of course, everyone heads down to the seafront for some skipping. And even when the kids are at school, a lot of schools in Scarborough will allow the children out for the afternoon to keep this century-old tradition going. They reckon that it stems back to the 1900s, the early 1900s, and the skipping comes from fishermen giving children old discarded fishing ropes to play with. And this tradition evolved from 19th century ball day activities, and the skipping really is a huge event still. Hundreds, if not thousands of people heading to the seafront every year for the event. And another tradition is the Scarborough Sea Cadets opening up to sell as many pancakes as they can cook to the local community as a bit of a fundraiser. Let's speak to Bob Smith now from the Scarborough Sea Cadets. So it's a great event for you, isn't it? Tell us all about what you've got going on.
It is. It's a great fundraiser. We turn the Sea Cadet unit into the House of Pancakes. From 12 o'clock onwards, we'll be serving our pancakes up with hot drinks, and also as well there's cold drinks for the kids. We will have a tombola stand and a cake stand, running our normal routine as we do every Shrove Tuesday.
We came along last year after what was a busy day, so we'd been hosting the Pancake Day Racing in the town centre. Then we went down and we were, enjoying some of the skipping on the seafront as well. Then we came along, and it was great. The pancakes were delicious. Everyone was getting stuck in, weren't they, to help. We were waited on beautifully by the cadets. They really looked after us.
Yeah, it's become very popular. We even had a queue outside by 12 o'clock, so it was quite a surprise for us, but well attended and well supported, and it's one of our great fundraising events for the Sea Cadets in the town. Yeah,
and that money, just remind us where that is going, how useful it is for you at the moment.
It is. It helps us with our building and renovations, which we've been going through quite a few over the last 3 or 4 years, and that's coming on well. But also it helps with our general Sea Cadet operations with our cadets.
Do you find that on Shrove Tuesday you're cracking sort of pancake-related jokes all the time, like saying, that flipping heck and all that sort of stuff? I do. I can't help it. I'm already saying it's going to be a fantastic day. What about you?
No, I'm too busy counting up the cat.
After we went in last year and enjoyed the pancakes there, what a building it is, and you keep making improvements there, don't you? Obviously, we know about the roof and the work that's been going on there, but also within the building as well, just making it more user-friendly, I suppose, for all the cadets that you've got there.
Yeah, since you were last there, we've installed a mezzanine training area, a new staircase and a classroom. And we'll shortly be starting our phase 2 renovations, which will be an all-access bathroom on the main area. We have one on the upper, what was the community centre, and we're going to install a utility area there as well.
Great. So for Tuesday then, Shrove Tuesday, when are you open from and until?
Be around about 12 o'clock till around 4.
Great. We are definitely popping in, and we'll have a go on that tombola as well. In fact, I did win something last year, and it still lives on the windowsill in the living room.
Oh, well, that's great. We'll have lots of prizes there, and also as well our delicious cakes made by our friends and family.
Great. While you're on, actually, I've noticed a post asking people to sponsor a topper for Montserrat, and it's only £25. Is that right, to name a boat?
Yeah, what it is, our team have gone around the country collecting boats that are not in use, etc. There is a benefactor who wants to send out some craft out to the Sea Cadets in Montserrat. They don't have any type of waterborne activities as such, and what they want to do is introduce it. But like anywhere else, money is a prime, and subsequently he's arranging for them to be shipped out there. And what we're doing is we're helping them along as well, as we always do. We like to help other units as well as ourselves, and get them kids out on the water as well, like we do. We're just blessed with the amount of areas that we've got to go with the North Yorkshire Water Park, etc., and also having the seafront on our doorstep.
Great. Well, hopefully people will get on board with that, quite literally. But that sounds great, and a nice part of the world, isn't it, Montserrat? Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday, Paddy. Look forward to it. Have a good time.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Smith there from Scarborough Sea Cadets. Really looking forward to Shrove Tuesday. We'll definitely be getting some pancakes from there. We did last year and it was fantastic. And we'll definitely be getting involved with the skipping as well. And, of course, we'll have to be involved in the Pancake Day racing, because This Is the Coast is hosting it. So we'll be on the This Is the Coast Roadshow stage, making a bit of noise and building up to the 12 p.m. start. Come and see us and come and enjoy this quirky event here on the Yorkshire coast. And talking of quirky events,
the Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce. We'll bring the ears, you bring the bounce.
have you heard about the Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce? Yeah, this spring there's going to be a fun new way for local youngsters to help support individuals with learning disabilities and autism to give them extraordinary lives. The Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce is a fun, school-friendly fundraising challenge inviting local primary schools and nurseries to get involved. By taking part, schools help raise vital funds to support a local charity that's been making a difference across the region for nearly 40 years. Every bounce helps make a difference. Pupils taking part in the sponsored challenge will be provided with bunny bounce ears and can then decide where to bounce. It could be the school hall, the field, the canteen, maybe, if feeling really brave, bouncing right into the head teacher's office. We'll leave that with you. Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce events need to take place between the 16th and 27th of March, so second half of the month of March. And during this time, us lot from This Is the Coast and Wilf Ward will be visiting some of the Bunny Bounce events, doing some coverage on the radio and on social media as well. And did I mention that we'll bring the ears? Yep, all those taking part will get free ears. You just need to bring the bounce. You can sign up right now at thisisthecoast.co.uk. Just click features at thisisthecoast.co.uk. If you're a parent, then do make sure you send a link or mention it to someone that works at your child's school or your child's nursery, and hopefully we'll get loads signed up. Big thanks to the likes of Thomas Hinderwell Academy in Scarborough and Humberby Primary School that have already signed up for the Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce. Like I say, you can sign up right now by going to thisisthecoast.co.uk. Right, thank you so much for listening to episode 49 of the Yorkshire Coastcast, all things Yorkshire Coast. There's so many other episodes, well, 48 full enough, to catch up on if you want. And we'll be back next week with another episode. You can get in touch with me anytime as well by emailing Paddy at thisisthecoast.co.uk. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the first part of half term, and maybe we will see you on Tuesday for the Pancake Day racing in Scarborough Town Centre.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. The people, the places.
And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. You'll be notified every time a new episode arrives. Thanks for listening.
The Yorkshire Coastcast.
Loving